Hey friends, welcome back to Start with 1000, the channel where we build wealth with wisdom, values, and just a mustard seed of capital. I'm Stephanie, and today I just want to give you a portfolio update and bring peace to anyone who's feeling fearful about the market, inflation, or whatever's coming up next. I'll go over some lessons that I've learned in my years of investing that are still shaping how I invest today, and hopefully they'll help you too. So let's take a look at the portfolio. So as we can see, the portfolio is down 16.78%, and that is actually up from last week. Grab is now in the green for now. Centene is down 21.58%, so that is actually up. I think last week it was down about 25%, so we're seeing some minimal gain. I'm pretty happy with where it is right now. And I did notice the CEO on August the 8th bought 19,230 shares at $25.50. She now has over 845,000 shares. And so it's really good and really comforting for me to finally see her actually buy shares, especially when the company is down about 50%. My very first job was serving meals at a high-end retirement community back in high school. And what really stood out to me was how residents hated waste. Leftovers were never tossed. They were either given to me or saved for someone else. They were very insistent about not throwing anything away. And at that time, I really didn't get it. But now I know that they lived through the Great Recession, where scarcity really shaped them. They didn't waste anything because during that time, they couldn't afford to. And years later, when I experienced the Great Recession in 2007, I really began to understand just how deeply those experiences can mark you. So the biggest lesson that I learned during that time is you really do need an emergency fund. And I know it's cliche, but it's true. It's your cushion. It's your breathing room when things get tight. It gives you time. It gives you the time to really think clearly and make rational decisions when everything else feels like it's falling apart. If you could pay your bills for the next 6 months to a year and not sell anything, imagine how different your choices would be compared to if you had nothing. During the Great Recession, unemployment doubled from 5% to 10%. And I remember reading about a man named Joshua Pertsky standing on a street corner in New York, handing out resumes after being out of work for 6 months. And that story has always stuck with me. Today, my husband and I, we are working towards building a 12-month emergency fund. And it's not because we are expecting the worst, but it's because it gives us space to move wisely when hard times come. Everyone trims fat. So during that time, I was working at a nonprofit once I finally found a job, and they were cutting everything. They were cutting staff, perks, benefits, you name it. I remember my husband's company used to have beer in their fridge, scooters in the halls, and these over-the-top Christmas parties. After the recession hit, there were no more scooters, there were no more socials, just a magician performing at a holiday party in an unfinished basement. Things can change quickly. And we as consumers were the same way. We cut travel, dining out, new clothes. A lot of those luxury brands took a major hit and everyone started looking for bargains. During downturns, people rethink what matters, and that shapes how companies respond. No one is above McDonald's. I want to say this with love. You are not above any job that feeds your family, and we saw that in 2007. McDonald's was one of the few companies still hiring, so they saw engineers, managers, even people in finance apply to work the counter or the drive-thru. There's this humility that hardship brings, and if you've ever looked down on anyone working a low-wage job, I'd encourage you to rethink that, because it could be you. I saw it again during the pandemic. Warehouse, healthcare, and factory workers, they kept this country open and alive. Things become cheaper. This is also when the wealthy got wealthier. Why? Because they bought low and rode the recovery to new all-time highs. And this is why you can't depend on your investments as an emergency fund. Even if you've seen big gains in recent years, those numbers are not guaranteed. When fear hits, people sell. And when everyone is selling, the market gets flooded and prices drop. That's why I don't plan on pulling from my investments during a downturn. I save now, so I don't have to sell low later. Use this time to prepare your finances and your mindset to buy when everyone else is selling. Innovation is born in hard times. You might be surprised how many companies started during downturns. Uber and Airbnb were born during the Great Recession. Did you know that CNN aired their first broadcast in 1980 during another recession? EA Games was launched during the energy crisis. I think it's because people lose secure jobs and they start betting on their own ideas. With all the extra time and fewer options, they start to innovate. Next week, I'm going to explain how I combat fear and anxiety during market downturns. I'm going to give you the steps, tricks, and tips that I use to help me get through the recessions and market downturns. It really boils down to mindset, how you see a downturn. Is it an opportunity to build wealth, or is it an opportunity to build fear? So let's wrap up. So don't be afraid of a downturn. It's a part of being an investor. We can learn from the past, prepare in the present, and walk forward with wisdom. You don't have to be rich. You don't have to be perfect. I know I'm not. But you do have to make a plan and you have to stick to it. Let's go on this journey together, not in fear, but in anticipation. Have a great rest of your day. Take care. Bye.